Hey everyone, and welcome. It is March 12th. Hey Matt,
Hey,
you are back in your room with our little
yes,
cute animals.
yes. So I've decided that for most everything, I'll stay here. But when we do like the super late nights, I don't really want the kids' background. Some of the topics that come up are not kid friendly, and I don't really want. I want to have it.
That's
I
a
don't want that
weird,
associated.
yeah. um, let's see. It is Friday. Excited about that.
Yes,
The week is over. It's time for the weekend. So if you've had a
yes.
long work week, hopefully you're going to be able to have a nice, relaxing weekend. We're going to go. We have several wine shipments to pick up. We're like members of a few wine clubs in the area, and so we have to go pick up wine. And so there's a few cases, or not few cases, but a few shipments that we got to pick up. Um, Sadly, we don't get to go in. I mean, I think this weekend in the area in Southern California and LA area, I think you're able to now go into a bar and get wine or beer or whatever without having to buy food. Beforehand, there was like a weird rule like that they had to like sell food, but we're still going to play it safe. We don't have the vaccine yet, so we're just going to go in, pick up the box, and come right back out. So it's not as fun as we normally get to do, but it should be a fun little drive and little trip up there. It's always nice to kind of just sometimes just drive. Y'all have any plans for the weekend?
I did a lot of cleaning yesterday to, when you kind of get on that kick. So I try to space it out, but I just kind of had the time yesterday, so I did a
Yeah.
ton of it yesterday. So I wouldn't really have anything to do tomorrow or Sunday. I I took a leap today and scheduled two uh, history classes.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to regret. They go from March 22nd to May 15th.
Hmm.
So was that roughly 7-8 weeks approximately? But so I may regret that. But I was sitting there today and I went ahead and scheduled it. So I was like, well, I only need three classes to have an associate's in biology from my school because I've taken so many classes for
Hmm.
it, not specifically for that, but in order to get my nursing degree from this one school because all the schools have different requirements. So between all the classes I already have and a couple that I took at this school to just improve on grades from 15 plus years ago and kind of bring my knowledge current, they wanted me to have American History 1, 2, and a speech class. Well, I took speech 2 years ago and I won't take it again. But I have to have a certain amount of hours taken at this campus for them to want to award me a degree. And I was like, well, it's not a problem for the nursing degree, but you're technically a biology or pre nursing major until you're accepted into their clinical program. So I only need that. And there's some class I didn't do so great in 15 plus years ago. Um, so I'm making sure I get cleared to find which one will replace that. And
Yeah.
that's going to be I don't need it, but I'm going to use that as my third class and substitute my original speech class from 2 years ago that I did very well in. I just don't want to take it again.
Yeah.
Um, but the school is pretty um what's a good word that says doesn't pay attention to anything, because where I did the bulk of my degree, my psych degree, I just finished in 2019. um there were 6 or 7 classes I've had to contest that say like I already took these. So my weekend is kind of planning what I'm going to do. I still won't hear anything for if I'm going to be accepted to their nursing program for probably another 2 to 3 weeks, likely between end of March and April 15th. Anytime in that
Hmm.
window is prime time. That's the 45 to 60-day mark after. So this week I was kind of planning what I'm going to do for the rest of the semester, to fit into work classes in between everything that we do. But they're what's called asynchronous, meaning that I don't have to sit for a Zoom lesson. All my stuff is just there, and I sit and do it at my own pace,
Oh, that's nice.
which for
I
me
guess
works very
it could
well.
be good or bad depending
Right.
on
It
your
can be
learning
really bad if
ability.
you're not used to it. I took an ethics class, I think over fall, and I had 8 weeks to do it, and I finished it in week 2 or 3. I just sat down. David took the same class, and it was for this school. I had a medical ethics, but it was a different code and 15 plus years old. So I was like, you know what? Instead of arguing it, I got a B on the first one, but I got an A in this one. I had 99 in this one. But I just sat down and did it. You just have to, when you have that time, you sit down and do as much of it as you can until, if you're not concentrating, you're not paying attention, get up and walk away. But I try to keep it to no more than 1 to 2 hours straight before I get up and go do something for 15, 20 minutes and then come back. Sometimes I'll go play a video game for a half hour. Sometimes I'll just go eat and go for a walk, anything. So, yeah, my plans this weekend will be planning out the next 6-8 weeks because academically, all of that is still happening. I just have had this semester mostly off.
Yeah.
I don't have to do this, but since I only have one app out for school this semester, it's all I'm eligible for. I was like, I just want to keep trying to open doors because you just don't know what's going to happen, so just
For sure.
trying to be prepared.
Yeah.
And I don't even have any cleaning to do except, I got to hang some laundry. So,
That's good.
really
I got the laundry out of the way. And so just a little bit ago before this, Justin was doing the grass mowing and fertilizing and everything because it's been raining here. So now we get all set to go. Little steps each day to get the yard ready back in order for the spring. I built another lattice. This is like our third lattice that we've actually built. And we got a honeysuckle this past weekend. So we have that growing. And so now the chicken coop, I'll have to take some photos because we've talked about the chicken coop before. We have plants or beans growing on each side of the chicken coop now. So like that area looks beautiful and is complete. So it's been nice. It's been kind of cold and rainy here. So it was nice to kind of get outside today.
Like beautiful here. And so I had a doctor's appointment earlier today. And it's the first appointment I've had. I've been to the doctor 4, 5, 6 times, and since August or November. And this is the first one I haven't needed a blood draw. I haven't needed anything. It was just a checkup, and I'm so happy. But every one of those visits has been, even the one over the summer, it just happened to be a really disgusting day.
Yeah.
And November, December, January, December. Yeah, November, December, February, and were all completely disgusting. Freezing cold rain, bitter, nasty, and then today was 80 degrees and beautiful. So I'm just sitting there in my mask and t-shirt, like, I know what I've been doing this week. I've been reading. I've taken some time out from that. I had put a request for book recommendations on my Twitter. I don't know if you saw that tweet, but yesterday I sat down and compiled an entire list in Notepad, which, they sync between my phone and my laptop so I can update either.
Yeah.
And I started just pulling them off. I have the Kindle app on my iPad, and I read one of them last night, and then I read a second one today. Last night's was 120 page book.
Mm-hmm.
And today's was 180-ish pages, and I read both. So by 2 separate authors. One of them was by a mutual, and one of my mutuals has written a book. His second book's in process, and then his husband has also written a book.
Oh wow, that's fun.
So I sat and read it, and it was very exciting because you know your mutuals a little bit, but you don't know them. But when you get to read their writing, it's very intimate, and it was fascinating because it's the first time I've ever gotten to really read something by people I actually have interaction with. So that was really fun. So I have this list of books. Some of them that were recommended to me were series. So I'm only downloading them one at a time so I don't get overwhelmed. So I have the notepad, and then as I'm finishing them, I just put the date that I finished them. And then I have a list on my laptop that's, to number and order what books I've read this year. My goal last year was 40 books. I read 5. Now, I read other stuff, but it was stuff I'd read before, so I didn't really count that. That was 5 fresh. Well, I did put one book on there that I'd read before, but I read it in 9th grade. So I thought that in good conscience, I felt good putting it on the list because I read it as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
and my feelings on it weren't too different, but it was uh, a different perspective. I did have a different perspective and a different respect for it. That my worldview is different now than it was when I was 14.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot more respect for the author and the book. I enjoyed the book then, but I think I connect with it better now as, as an adult in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
yes, so
Um,
I'll save
we
that for a segment because that's actually one of the things I am really looking forward to talking about
yeah
on. Oh yeah, that's something that we planned this week that we'll be planning probably over the weekend.
yeah.
Cody
Uh,
will be producing a
we're
new
gonna do.
show.
Matt is gonna. We're adding another show. Matt's gonna have his own little show where he's going to be. We're still kind of working out some of the things, but we think it might be like a. I don't know. We'll see. We're thinking some historical things and
I think it's what it's going to turn into is whatever thing
whatever
that's
is
on
on
his mind,
Matt's mind.
because this is basically a way to channel me elsewhere. And this was actually Cody's idea, not mine. He was like, "Oh, it'd be so fun for Matt to have a show that I produce."
If you are here watching, say hey. If you're in the chat room, we've
Yes,
had a few people drop in and out. Just checking things out. So that's good. If you're watching this probably on a replay, which majority of people probably are going to see it that way, hey. And we do this every Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific. So you can like put that on your calendars. We're going to be here every Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific. Just kind of a little chat, catch up for what happened during the week. And kind of just, yay, it's Friday. It's the end of the week.
we could
Matt,
also do Justin's interview on that. So instead of like trying to squeeze him into a wrap it up Friday or late night, we could do it on Mondays.
Who knows?
Oh,
Have you noticed I have lights now? I have new lights. I told Matt. I sent him a
they're really
picture
cute.
yesterday, and so I can change colors of lights. So we have like blue, and then you can. Oh, this is the pink side, pink and blue. I can change colors and do everything. So this is fun because I'm going to get to do for filming of my cocktail videos and different things, and just live streaming stuff now. So that's exciting. One thing we were going to do is we are going to look at some of the headlines that are happening. Matt, it's exciting. We were talking about like a
Yes,
news
I'm excited
thing.
we're doing this. We've format.
A little. So here's one, Matt. Scientists want to send 335 million seed, as in sperm and egg samples, to the moon to create a lunar Noah's Ark. Now, scientists are pulling inspiration from Noah's Ark in a new lunar proposal that they call global insurance policy. Now, they hope to send the Ark, what they're calling it, to the moon, filled with those 335 million sperm and egg samples in case there's a catastrophe on the Earth. Now, the idea is to store the Ark within a network of lava tubes that are about 200 of which were discovered beneath the moon's surface in 2013. And you can see this is like the whole like situation that they have going on that they want to do. Now, one thing is like here on Earth, there's a seed vault, and it's a vault where they store millions of different seeds. And these are like plants. But these scientists were saying they could store them like on Earth, but they were like, if there's a catastrophe on Earth, we want, I guess, we're thinking we're going to be on Mars or whatever. We want to be able to do something, I guess.
Better hope we're not on Earth when this catastrophe happens, because how the hell are we going to get up there to get it and get it back?
I think you're only lucky if we're thinking we're already in space, because this isn't happening.
I'm going to
But
need you to ask me during the late night, because I have lots of comments for this, but none of which I'm going to say at 7 o'clock Central Time.
Because they're building the space hotel supposedly starting in 2025, and you can
We
buy
can't even
rooms,
get healthcare.
hotels.
Don't get me wrong. I think this is super cool, and this is totally my 13-year-old boy fever dream. But we can't even get health.
It's going to be the whole thing. The people who are going to be in those hotels or purchasing rooms are going to be the people with money. So it's going to be the elite.
Well, yeah.
The elite. So here's another one. This one is just crazy to me. Marijuana is going to kill your kids. Did you know? Now, this is because Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts has launched an aggressive campaign against the legalization of medical marijuana in his state. He's going so far as to warn residents that legalizing the drug would kill their children. And even though it's never been linked to fatal overdose, and this is him. We'll see.
So this is a dangerous drug that will impact our kids. If you legalize marijuana, you're going to kill your kids. That's what the data shows from around the country. And that's why it's dangerous to go around the established process we have to determine whether or not drugs are safe and effective, and why legalizing marijuana and going around the regulatory process to keep people safe is dangerous and going to harm.
Okay.
I don't even think the people standing behind him believe that.
That is a straight up lie. Okay.
He doesn't even believe it himself. Do you see that body language?
The data does not show that.
No, the data shows nothing like that.
Also, it's been legalized in Colorado for some time, and Washington State. It's legal in California now for a handful of years. It's legal in a large number of states actually now, especially for medical marijuana, but just recreational across the country. And we've never seen thousands or millions of kids dying because of this. Like, it's just ridiculous. First of all,
talk to your kids about vaping before you're worrying about that.
Right. Like alcohol in general is more dangerous and more addictive than marijuana. So like
pervasive belief that if you legalize it, you're going to have kids driving stoned. And that's going to be legal somehow. It's like, no, it is still illegal to be under the influence of anything and drive. It's the same as taking your prescription Xanax. If you have a strong reaction to it and getting behind the wheel and driving, you would still be faulted for an accident.
Correct.
So
yeah.
It doesn't. Those rules still apply. You still
also
have to stay home or not behind a wheel, or if you do something stupid in public, you are still culpable. You're still liable for your decisions. That's why. But nobody is. Oh my God, the fucking stupidity.
Also, if you are smoking marijuana or doing edibles, you most likely aren't going to be driving.
Right.
You're going to be at your house with like snacks and chips and all kinds of other things, or just stuck on your couch watching TV.
Do you think we
just
can,
nonsense?
Maybe for the next bill as a response to this, like for the next state of legalization, that like when it's legalized and you receive your prescription, you get that, some Mountain Dew, and a copy of Call of Duty or something.
Oh my God. Like, yes.
Finally, if we can do that, we can treat anxiety, and we can probably get way more straight guys treated in record time. Tell them we can treat this with Call of Duty.
You know what's yeah. What's funny is that like we've seen that these have been they've been brought before the public, and the public is voting on a lot of these bills, or not bills, laws, I guess, legalizing it. So it's not like the state and Senate within these particular states are legalizing it. A lot of times it is on the ballot and everybody votes in that particular state, and that is how it's being legalized medically and recreationally. And it has broad support among Democrats and Republicans. So it is so interesting sometimes when you have a governor like this who's literally like against it, but like
with no evidence.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But I feel like that's what we've seen a lot of now. There's no evidence. The Republicans and conservatives are just saying and spouting things with no evidence, or saying things as though they are fact. It's kind of like we talked last week about Dr. Seuss, and they were like saying that we were canceling Dr. Seuss.
We had nothing to do with it.
We didn't. Like the estate did. The estate was like, we're not publishing this anymore.
Everybody
Mr. Potato Head, we didn't
so
cancel
much,
Mr. Potato Head.
We didn't even do this. Like, come on.
It's like that list I showed you that they're saying liberals are canceling things, but then there was a whole list for the last, 2 decades that they've canceled things.
My favorite is the annual War on Christmas. There's the War on Christmas, and then there's it's the other one.
Which there's never been a war on Christmas.
Yeah, there's never been a war on Christmas. Oh yeah, the persecuted Christians.
I don't know where I don't know exactly where it comes from, but I know like some people get upset because it says Happy Holidays or whatever. But I'm like, okay, you do realize it has, it has nothing to do with not saying Merry Christmas. It's literally a marketing thing because they put this stuff up and on TV starting like at the end of October, and it goes for 2 months. So you can't be saying Merry Christmas in November. Like the whole thing is like we're saying Happy Holidays because we're having Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah. There's you like what? No one's saying, and also no one told you can't say Merry Christmas.
Right. I have never met one person who was offended when they heard Merry Christmas. And I know lots of people who aren't practicing Christians who just don't give a like we all mostly have other things to worry about that if hearing Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays bother you. I mean, I'm a staunch atheist and I have no problem with it myself. Like there's so many other things to
I mean, the
be
thing
worried
is,
about.
they make up these things like
Oh, Keith is
it's
here. Hi, Keith. So Keith is a real
hey,
life friend of mine. He lives in the same city as me, and like his the Martha Stewart gummies. I
wait. She has CBD gummies. What is this? Oh my goodness. I didn't know that Martha Stewart had it. I love her show. I love that she and Snoop Dogg are like really good friends and they have that show on VH1 and
they're the
it's
cutest. Like they're
amazing.
the cutest. I
I
truly.
do love CBD gummies. Um, I have some, but I didn't know Martha Stewart had some. Like sometimes I'll do like someone sends me products and I post about them on Instagram, on my personal Instagram. Just I don't want anyone to
Sometimes
be
I
like,
wish it was me, you know, that like under a different name sending you weird shit and being like, "Hey man, just promote this and I'll send you like whatever." And just I just want it to be something super weird and ridiculous and you have to be like, "I don't is this Matt?" Like where you're so suspicious and you would almost believe it's me, but you don't
um,
ask.
that would be funny. Yeah, I love the gummies I have. I'm gonna check out these Martha Stewart ones. Yeah, one of my sponsors was there's this company. It's in California, but it's in some other states where marijuana is legalized. It's called MedMen, and they gave me a coupon for 50% off. And well, we use that wisely because 50% off, you can get a lot of stuff.
I feel like you sent me a picture of this. You did.
Yeah, well, it's on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram
Well, I don't
because
have Instagram.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I'll have to see. We do have a Coma cast. Just log in there and look. um.
Do you know I actually can't get into the ChromaCast or Facebook?
Oh my gosh, we got
You
to
know,
figure that out. Like I
um,
remember you telling me this, and
yeah.
we've
So
just never sit
I don't
down
make
and
a
do it.
bigger deal about it because I routinely terrorize you via text message, Twitter, and here. So I'm like, there needs to be a safe space for Cody away from me within our own, like within our thing.
Um.
So I don't I'm like, I can let this go.
I'll have to see if I can find it.
And he said
The,
the THC has been removed, so it's just the cannabinoids.
Yeah. So yeah, I the CBDs are nice. So my gummies are CBD gummies, and I have some mints that are CBD gummies. So they're like peppermint mints, and so that's nice because you get like the CBD, like what we would be kind of be like the medical part, I guess. And so
I
it
can
doesn't
always tell.
it doesn't make you like it doesn't make you high, I guess. So CBD doesn't make you high if people are watching and they don't know
But
that.
it calms him down.
It does relax you and just not as much as if you're taking like some real gummies, but
um,
they are nice. They are nice.
I will tell you that as somebody who is very good friends with Cody and has been present for a few crises, um, when Cody's like, "Oh, look what I got," I'm like, "Oh, thank God." With love, I mean that with like all the love in my heart. Like
Uh,
truly, I do.
yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to find this because it was the greatest photo, but how long ago was this? My goodness. There's a cute photo I did for my CBD gummies where I'm like laying in the grass with my crop top on. Um, well, I'll have to find that later.
you guys,
But
I'm always saying Cody's just like you should see the pictures I get sometimes. One of my favorites you ever sent me, it was from New Year's
mhm.
this year or last year, And
Last year, because remember we were locked down this year.
I think you were like in your underwear holding a glass of wine, and I'm like, here he is standing there with this tight little waist, flat little stomach, and I'm like, ugh, you know. So I'm like, oh, you know what I need to do? When you do these really cute pictures, I need to go like try to recreate it.
Oh my god, yes.
That would
That would
be
be
just really
funny.
funny. We should do it. Oh my god, we need to do a Coma Cast calendar. I
Well,
am a marketing genius.
you want the
I
merch. You want the merch.
see, here it is. I am weirdly the idea guy, and I feel like when I send you ideas, do you ever get them? And you're like, damn it, that's a really good idea, but damn it, he's gonna make it weird. Like, do you sit there and look at your phone like that, like, oh,
Never.
I don't
Never.
know if I believe that.
Well,
But so what's great? So Keith has been a friend of David and I's for years, and how did he find us? Me was on Facebook years ago, right after we adopted Luna out of a box. I posted a few pictures of her, and Keith found me because I was local to him, and he added me, and we talked about kitty cats because he adopted his stray kitty.
so I don't know. You're not gonna be able to see. I found the photo of
Posted on
all.
our Twitter.
Yeah, I'll post it on Twitter of all of my fun products that I got.
Yes, Cody does you're like a micro influencer, which I promise I'm saying that with a straight face.
I hopefully I'll be getting some new stuff coming soon.
But no, you always do all this really cute stuff, and I'm like, do you know how I feel the comparison is? Like you do these really great marketing things, and did you ever see Shrek the Third?
No, I don't even know if I've seen a Shrek. I've seen Shrek the musical.
God, how do you get gayer every time we do this?
Oh yes,
Sometimes I just feel like Donkey sometimes in comparison. Like
So yeah, I'll check out those Martha Stewart CBDs. I did not know that was happening. I love Martha Stewart. Like love Martha Stewart. Like I want to be her best friend and I want to hang out at her place. Like her estate, the gardening and everything. She has this show on the Discovery Plus app and I love watching it.
She got sentenced to house arrest because it said I remember watching a thing on it and it showed like which places she might be stuck at. I'm like, I want to be stuck on house. I think I was a kid when this happened.
Yeah.
Like, here I am straight out the trailer park. Like, could I be? I want to go there.
She has a handful of like people, like someone who tends her garden. And so during the quarantine and this whole period, I guess, basically, she invited him to stay there and like her maid and like someone else who works in our house and like an assistant. And she invited them and their families to come stay because, well, she has plenty of room. But that was amazing. Like just you get to stay there the whole time.
Right. I guess, but if that's your normal, your normal life, it's like when people complain about what they're stuck in because their normal might feel oppressive to them. And I'm like,
it's like I tell Matt all the time.
I'd like to try that.
I say compound, but like I want a lot of land so I can have all my animals and everything else. And then him and David, they'll have their little house over here. And it's just like, it's going to be a huge compound and everyone's fine and no one has to leave. And when the world explodes again, well, we're just here. So here's something that I saw in the store that like killed me. And we've, I think, talked about this, me and you before, but like hyper masculine products. So these are products that are geared. Oh my God, we actually talked about it when David was, because we talked about dude wipes.
I was gonna bring this up to you tonight. That's really amazing.
So we were in the store looking for body wash, and I had gotten this one like delivered, so I had just like picked one out on the app, and it's my new favorite body wash from Target called Raw Sugar. So it's body wash, hair stuff, soap, the shampoo, because I have to use dandruff shampoo sometimes. And so this, though, you can use with colored hair. The other you can't because it like strips the color out. But this is like all natural products, so there's no like medicines in it. And it's amazing. My hair is super soft now. and I have no issues. And it's all natural products, and it's great. And that's all their products, so that's why it's called raw sugar. Anyway, we were looking for the thing, and Justin was like, I don't know which one did you get? And I was like, I don't know. It just was like in a gray bottle, but all the bottles were white. And I was like, well, they must have just been rebranding, all their products, and now they're all white bottles with like a bamboo colored top. And then, so we pick one out, whatever. And then we're walking around, and then we see like a section of like men's stuff. And I was like, oh my God, there it is. There's the body wash. And this was the body wash for men. And it said raw sugar body wash for men, I guess. And it was so it was a different color bottle and had that. And I was like, what is this nonsense? Like, really? You're that like, I just don't know. But there was one I also saw, because there's makeup. So they're making makeup for men. And so not just gay men, just regular men. Paint. But yeah, this one that I saw came in they had like 3 shades, I guess. And they were pale ale, medium lager, and amber ale. First of all, okay. I think that's actually really smart, because like, it's just funny. Because it's like regular makeup or eyeshadows. It has weird names, or like Jeffree Star has like a lot of makeup with weird like names. So I think there are great names. But here's some other
like wines, like for.
Well, thinking of wine, this is okay. These are some other things. So they have a thing called Broga, which is men's yoga. Okay, because you can't just do yoga. What? Brose. Here's your wine brose instead of rose. Okay, because it's too pink. You don't want it. This is Bath and Body Works, Mr. Mom. It is hand sanitizer for men.
Don't get me wrong. I like certain smells that are technically they're marketed towards men, and 1 or 2 of them actually like the smell. And I don't mind it being named something different, so that you're going to smell something different, right? You don't want to like, oh, everything usually smells like flowers, and you open it up and it smells like an Abercrombie store. And you're like,
so you don't want something like this where it's Kleenex for men, and it says Kleenex for men because of your man size. Supposedly that's the thing, but it's like, is like the Kleenex is big enough? Like, what? And this one blew my mind. Pet shampoo, but the pet shampoo on the bottle says for him, so for boy dogs. You can't even wash it doesn't matter. It's like what we talked about in the past with like the toys. I'll get a
Rottweiler and I'll name him Vanessa. Like, I do not care. Like, are you kidding me? That's funny. People are ridiculous. Guys are ridiculous.
It's
growing
just
up that way, and growing up that way, I remember that's all that was pounded into my ears growing up was, you have to look. Do you know what the worst part? That the only place I can ever think that could have used a men's sign was literally shopping at the Gap if you went there as a kid. Because I literally could not tell half the time. Now that, I was like, can someone direct me? Because I just couldn't read women's sizes. Honestly, if I could just found where I could go to find anything that fit in that damn store, that I could have liked some signs. But any other place and product, who gives a shit?
But and there's that whole hypermasculine thing where like, I guess they don't feel comfortable enough buying this product, even though it's literally saying. Now, granted, sometimes there are differences in these products because sometimes men have a different type of skin needs, or there are some specialties in that. But some of these are some of these are ridiculous. Like dude wipes.
Just posted that. He said, I've seen dude wipes in the store. I refuse to even pick them up.
Yeah, we were talking to when David was on. I don't think it got in the interview, but we were talking off camera about the dude wipe situation. Like, it's a wipe. What? You can't just use.
Yeah, also, it's going up your butt. Like, you're gonna wipe your butt with it. Like,
also, what is the other brand? Like, it's just the name. It's just whatever the brand of toilet paper is, but they made a wipe. Like, like you use toilet paper. Do you need like a dude toilet paper?
I've been around enough straight guys that I'm concerned that I don't know if they really do.
Oh,
yeah, gross.
What an interesting thing about this, though, also when you look at it, is that in some of these things being the same things, sometimes it's better for women to actually purchase these men products because they're cheaper. And that's like the whole thing, the pink tax. So sometimes there's a razor, the same exact razor for men and women, different branding, but the razor is cheaper for men than if the women buy it. Same thing with some of these other products that are exactly the same, just different boxes and branding. The men's product is cheaper than the women's product. And that's something that's been like a big issue that a lot of people have done stories on, and it's called the pink tax. And like, again, it's so ridiculous. Can we get past this? And why are the companies charging women more for these products?
Well, and many times some of the products are because they're quote unquote feminized. So, they smell, I guess you'd say girly, or they're not as strong. So, when they're, athletics or just naturally sweating, it's not strong enough for them. But it's not seen as socially acceptable for women to look sweaty or disheveled, whereas a guy shows up looking disheveled and sweaty. Oh, he put in a hard day's work. Well, okay. Well, what about her? And what about anybody but the hyper masculine straight guy? And that's just. But growing up hearing those messages, it's not surprising, not in the least. It's funny that you brought that up today because when I was at the doctor, I asked him about the rash on my face, which I thought was sunburn. It turns out it's a physical response to whatever's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so today I'm not having too bad of a day with it, but typically I was, it's red and I need to hide it. And I messaged a friend and I was like, hey, his name is Steven. I said, hi, Steven. I need your recommendations for some, and I put war paint in quotes. And it's because it's just a running joke to us, of like, what do I do to help even out my skin tone? Because I don't want to look at it every day, but there's nothing I can do about it. So
yeah.
How do I hide this? Because I don't need to see it every day. And how can I protect my skin more? Because sunlight can make it worse, but I can't not go in the sun.
Yeah.
Which I have done for the last several months, totally avoided the sun. And I'm pretty sure the Ghostbusters are about to break in my house and like capture me. So I need to do something about this. And so we were actually joking about that. And I was going to mention that later in the show. Like, hey, we talked about war paint lately because it's getting ridiculous. So
the thing with me and Matt, like yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that I feel like it's nice. Like for me anyway, it's nice to just feel like comfortable and relaxed that I can go into the makeup store and get something if I want it, or like shop in women's clothes. Like my jeans are women's jeans. I get like crop tops that are in women's section, like nice sweaters from the women's section because they just fit fabric. Me better. Yeah.
It's literally to me, I was always like, I understand like some things are cut for the average woman's body that isn't guys, but not everything is. And sometimes like body types don't necessarily aren't cut to this and that to a binary.
Yeah.
And I remember being younger, if I had just bought women's clothes, like I could have actually had clothes that fit because I was so tiny as a 20 to 25-year-old. Well, until I was 25 to 28.
Yeah.
I just could not find anything that fit because guys' clothes are designed, even when they like fitted clothes were in, they still didn't really fit me right, but
they're just boxy. Men's clothes are just like a box.
Right. And that's not very comfortable when you're working. Like sometimes you're doing stuff. You want your clothes you want them to be on your body and stay there. I want to still be able to breathe, but they don't need to be like hanging off of me. And so frustrating.
Matt knows that I'm a supporter of guys wearing skirts. I send him lots of TikToks of of that because that's like a thing on there. I'm gonna try to get Matt to do it. I'm just
well, and I like we mentioned about going to a makeup store. My embarrassment is not knowing what to do because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'll watch YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, I get that, but where do I start? Because
oh my god, I wish that you were closer. I could do your makeup.
Yes, because I would love. We're going to have a really important discussion right this moment because as soon as I mention this, there's no way around it. So because I have scars on my face that are not really visible on camera, but in person, my lip scar is red because it's the same color as my, my mouth. And
Mm-hmm.
this scar on my cheek is more prominent in person. And people tell me, now some people truly don't notice it, but I'm not dumb. And out of respect, most people say nothing. But I do see people's eyes when they're watching me. I mean, I'm doing this my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I would just sometimes love to not look at my scars. Not that I'm ashamed of them, but anybody that's has visible marks or scars that they don't want to look at, even when you've accepted them, there's some days that you just don't want to deal with it. Some days you want to shave your face and not have to avoid a scar.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like when I did have laser treatment on my face to thin out my facial hair to help minimize how much I have to do it because my face breaks out horribly if I don't shave for too long. I'll break out really bad. No matter how long I leave it, it just some patches of my face will break out so painfully bad. And so I had laser hair, but they zapped my scar. And let me tell you, you're not supposed to do that. And the person, she was just kind of going along and got me
Yeah.
right in the, right here. And
Ouch.
whew, I was just laying there, I mean, it doesn't feel great to have laser done, but I was like, it's okay. It takes 5 minutes, whatever. And she hit it and it was like, but to not have to look at it or if I have a sunburn or anything going on with my face, it highlights what's happening. If I'm dehydrated, it changed because I don't have full movement of my upper lip. So there's other factors to it than just simply looking at my face and have it, liking what I see in the mirror.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't want to deal with people looking. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm good with me, but I want the world to be good with it, and I need to not hear their questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with now, I have a rash on my face, which again, right now is not really showing today, but that is day by day. And I'm also in front of a ring light, which kind of hides a lot of it, thankfully. Because on my doctor's appointment days, I don't treat it at all because I need my doctor to see what it really looks like.
Yeah.
So, or if I take a hot shower, come in from outside, my cheeks look flushed, like a little kid that runs outside and needs to drink water, like their cheeks get real flushed. Parts of my face look like that, and it's called a malar rash. But
yeah.
I need a pro. I need a Cody, but here.
I know.
Mean, I would have David do it, but I kind of feel
oh my god, can we do that as a TikTok, YouTube thing where like he does your makeup? That would be amazing. Yeah, talking about hot showers, I have eczema, and after I get out of, because first of all, I like lava showers, and so my eczema, well, you can kind of see it here a little bit, but it gets, the hot shower like makes it show up so much. And it's like, if you saw me without a shirt, you'd be like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, it's just my eczema and it sucks. And then in the summer when I tan.
I've seen Cody without a shirt many times post shower because sometimes COVID casts like, hey, I need to call you right now. Okay.
Sometimes in the summer when I tan, I have white splotches because of, I basically, when I scratch, it takes out the pigment. And so it takes like a year for you to rebuild pigment back up. But then I keep scratching and my eczema is crazy. You're jealous that women can wear cover up. My dark circles need hidden. It's not fair. Yes. I always, if I need some, I just put it on. I'm like, okay, we're just going to put this on.
Yeah, I get it. I get the dark. So I have the dark circles along with the malar rash. And I'm like, so I kind of go red and blue. And then, my scarring. And I'm like, and I'm so pale that these things highlight more than they actually are. So I'm like, I'm literally red, white, and blue. And I'm like, okay, my nationalistic skin here needs to stop.
You're red, white, and blue, and the Neapolitan. That's a joke from a late night show. There was growing up, there was someone who had dark circles, like just like naturally, really, really dark, and I thought it was so attractive.
Mine, I have it really bad on my right eye, the first half of my right eye. I've had so many surgeries. So after surgery, my face would be swollen 2 or 3 times its normal size, from usually just below my eye down to my upper lip. So whatever they were doing in my face was traumatic. They're cutting. So my cheek would be swollen out. So after a while, it seemed, because it breaks all the blood vessels. If you've ever seen anybody post nose job, and that was one of my last 3 surgeries. So when I had that one, I was like super dark under my eyes. I looked like I'd been in a car accident. But I've had a black eye so many times from so many surgeries or minor procedures that it just seemed like it didn't go back to normal. And then
Mhm.
even when I was a kid, I remember a couple times my mom saying, "You're staying home tomorrow. You're going to be sick." And I'm like, "I feel fine." And the next day I wake up with 104 fever. I'm like, "Oh." So also dark circles for me are the first sign that I'm sick.
Hmm.
So I get super super dark under my right eye. My left eye is not as bad, but because I'm so pale, it's great. But again, I haven't had surgery in 15 years, but some of it never went away. Okay, my circles, thank you.
Um, yeah, it's a
David and
whole.
his damn baby face and his like perfect skin. I'm like, jerk.
Oh, David. Again, we want to
David
thank
has
everybody
great
who
skin.
we want to thank everybody who is here, who's joining us. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Again, we do this every Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific. So work out that time wherever you live, but 5 o'clock
Workout.
Pacific. You know, I tried to say it last time. So it's 5 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Mountain. No, I already messed it up. 5 o'clock
I was like, no.
Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern.
That was
But
funny. I'm like, huh, there's a
hmm,
time warp.
see, I
And
told you. So every Friday we do this. So thank you for joining us. Of course, we have a late night show, and then we have our two episodes. This last episode was really a fun thing. We were talking about Dorothy's friends. But again, thank everybody who is in the room here, and we're almost nearing the end. And so there was this one thing I saw, and someone was like trying to choose between which was better, or which one would you choose? Why would you choose this one? And it is if I guess it's basically if you couldn't eat anything else and these were your only two options, which one would you choose? And I guess maybe you have to like stay with this particular place. Can't go anywhere else in like over a period of time.
okay.
McDonald's or Wendy's?
Uh, I'm gonna have to let my inner child make this decision, and I'm just gonna go ahead. Now we're assuming they make the order right and it doesn't taste, like they get the order right and it's fresh. Like if they're both
Yes.
held to the same standard, I know Wendy's is probably better for you, but I would probably say McDonald's. But
Okay.
if I have to eat there for the rest of my life,
Yeah. Okay.
I
So we're
mean,
not.
everybody's gonna regret that after a week. But
If you're if you're in the room, let us know real
ugh,
quick what you would choose. McDonald's.
thank you,
I'll
Keith.
help. Yes, I would also choose McDonald's.
And don't get
And
me
here,
wrong, I love Wendy's and I could go for a Frosty, but actually, when I leave here, David doesn't know it. He actually could probably hear this. I'm gonna try to go get Dairy Queen
mm,
because I've
yeah,
been
I was
trying
just
to for 2 weeks, and every time I've gone, there's been like a 45-minute line of cars.
that
The
sounds
other
like a
day there was
Whataburger
15.
line.
The other day there was 15 cars waiting for it. I'm like, okay, I don't need it that bad. It's okay, and I turned around and went home. I'm not bitter about it because it's really just a thing. But let's see.
The Big
Wendy's.
Mac sounds more hyper masculine. And you would
Are you
choose
sure?
Nicholas. You would choose Wendy's. Okay, so here's my thoughts. I would choose McDonald's, and the only I love Wendy's. Uh, I love they have like really good deals sometimes. Like you can get like 5 items or something for something good price. But I love their chicken nuggets and I love their hamburgers. Of course, their whole thing is they're like made fresh and
Right. See,
everything.
those are the things that I think about. I'm like, would I pick Wendy's? Even
And
knowing that, I'm still such a
I'm not I like Frosties, but I'm also just not the biggest like cold item fan. So like ice cream, I like it, but I don't. It's like I'm not like craving it necessarily, and I've always been that way. So like if I get like a frappuccino from Starbucks, I need it to melt a little. Like I've just
so.
been that kind of person. But so
I have something
that's
so inappropriate to say.
Wendy.
Go
The
ahead.
floor is open. Wendy's, I love. But here's the thing with McDonald's. McDonald's has more items to choose from, I guess. And they also have a good breakfast menu. So, like, if you're
Yeah, it's
if
true.
you're having to choose to like you're gonna have to keep eating there, you have more options to kind of switch it up a little bit. Now I know Wendy's has started a breakfast menu, and they actually we actually talked about this, I believe, and it was right before the pandemic began, and then so I haven't
See,
gotten
that
to,
might not have made it to the air, but I do remember this conversation because we
and it
talked about
was,
Taco Bell breakfast and Wendy's
yeah, it
breakfast.
was before the pandemic began, I believe. And so I think it did debut, but I haven't had a chance to get over to Wendy's and check out the breakfast menu. So it's hard for me. But I do love the McDonald's breakfast menu a lot. I love, like, there's something about the sausage biscuit or the sausage muffin or the sausage McMuffin. Like, it just tastes so good and you can't replicate it. And it's just
Assuming it's made
amazing.
right, yeah. If it looks and tastes the way it looks in the commercials, you're doing okay. And are you ready
Um,
for my inappropriate comment?
go for it.
You're probably gonna edit this out. This might not make it to
This
YouTube.
is live.
Oh, well, yeah, but I know. But if you're watching this on replay, there may not be anything after this because Cody might edit it out or YouTube might have a problem. But I was just thinking, like, I know. So you always cook and bake lots of interesting things too, and so does Justin. But I always think about when we've talked about getting cold things, you always kind of shy away from it. But like, because you're kind of like a lizard, so maybe if you after you have it, you just sit on my face because like a lizard, you need something warm under you to help you digest your food. Yeah.
We can always count on Matt.
My favorite.
This might be our excerpt. This might be our excerpt for Instagram.
It's like the favorite flavor of popsicle thing from the Maury Povich thing.
Well, and the candy cane.
That was actually the inspiration for the candy cane.
That was your
comment.
inspiration for the candy cane comment.
It
If you
was.
missed that, that was in our Christmas show. Everyone loves the Christmas show. Yep, that's Matt. There's Matt. The thing is, we most people don't get to hear this. So unless you know him, you don't get to hear all of this stuff. But these live shows allow it to happen a little bit more. And also, I'm starting to record pre and after our episodes. We record videos and then we post them up of our podcast episodes. And so I'm able. That's when we get some good stuff because we're not
because
like set
I
to
kind of forget the
record.
camera's rolling. Now I never say anything like, like you're not. I'm not saying anything that is like, oh wow, he's racist or something. It's nothing. It's never anything like that. It's just like
No.
something ridiculously like.
Well, basically, it
Sexual or
doesn't
something.
fit the content of what we may have been talking
No,
about.
it doesn't.
Because it's just random conversation. So it's great conversation. So if you're here in the room, if you have any questions you want to ask us, we're nearing our end. I think we have like six more minutes left, maybe a little less. So if you're in the room, if you have a question, just do it in the comments. Again, if you are watching this on the replay or if you are here now, we are on Facebook. So you can find us on Facebook at the ComaCast. Add us there. We're on Instagram. Add us on Instagram. There's a lot of people doing Instagram Live. So I don't know. We might have to do that soon too. Just like,
I think we should try it. I mean,
as
I'm
another
open to
thing.
it. I want to see also finding out kind of what we might find out that works better for people or they're more comfortable with it than using Twitter Live because Instagram Live seems more normalized.
Yeah.
So it might be that.
Add us on Instagram, also at the ComaCast. We're on YouTube. I think regardless of anything you're on, add us on YouTube because that's where we put a lot of our videos. And click the little bell. So hit the subscribe button. There's a little bell. Hit the little bell, and that gives you notifications. So anytime we ever decide to go live, so it could be random lives, you'll get notified. We're also on Twitch. So if you're a gamer and you want to like watch us there, you can take a pause from your thing and check us out on Twitch. We're also going to probably start doing this app called Stereo. So if you have the Stereo app, we might start doing some stuff there because that's like a fun little place. And it also, aside from us, there's a lot of fun other things that happen on the Stereo app and like fun shows and like a lot of fun LGBTQ related people on there that are doing fun, like random shows. And it allows y'all to just give like little soundbite messages to us, basically like little voicemails.
Right. It'll let you interact with us. Yeah, it's.
You don't get notified?
Right.
I don't know. We'll have to check that out.
I've gotten similar comments, or they get notified. Keith texted me the other night. He got notified like 4 or 5 hours after we were already off the air. I was like, oh, that's weird.
YouTube. Well, here's the deal. So
It's homophobic.
if you are on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, those three, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you can get notifications on all of those particular things. So just follow us on those. And if you're on Twitter, you can also click, I don't know if it's a little bell. Let me see real quick. There is something on, if you go to the profile for a page, you can click on the little bell. You click on the little bell as well once you follow a page, and that will allow you to be notified whenever you want to see something that we go live for, or on Twitter specifically, anytime we post something. So if Matt or me post something and then we misspell something or mess up and delete it, you'll have gotten the notification. And if you click on it, you see it soon enough. Thank you. I'm glad it's a great escape. But yeah, so like we're gonna start trying to do Matt's show, and that'll come out on Mondays. Tuesday we have our podcast episode that's on any podcast app that you listen to. So there's any options: Spotify, Apple, Overcast, etc., etc. And there's video versions of that come out on Tuesday on all these apps, on all of our social media apps. Wednesday we don't have anything yet. Thursday we have another podcast episode. Videos available and audio. Then Thursdays, that's Thursdays. Fridays we have this show, and then we have weekend shows and stuff like that. So a lot of options for all of y'all to check out
a lot of fun
on these shows.
So we thought it would be fun to do different things. Sometimes we do the podcast live. What we record for the podcast is done in this style, and everybody can watch it. And then other times it's just us. We're doing it in this format, but we don't have it broadcasting so that there might be something we don't want everybody to hear quite yet, because we might need to do something one or two times, and sometimes tech issues.
I mean, today was great. We've been having issues when I would try to play a video or something that Matt's audio would go out, and then I'm like, well, I don't know. Everyone can hear me still. Awesome. So yeah. Lots of fun stuff on all of these apps and content. And our Friday shows, we're going to kind of do some like headlines like we did today that go into conversations about things. And then they just flow. Like, who knew we were going to talk about Martha Stewart CBD things and stuff. Right. And yes, I love Barefoot Contessa also.
I love Ina.
Did you see, I don't have it here, but like the quarantini that she made at the beginning of lockdown, where it was like this huge glass, and she poured the whole bottle.
Yeah,
or she made like a Cosmo.
Actually, Keith sent it to David and I, so he is one of like maybe two people we allow to have a group chat with us, because we're real life friends. So we haven't been able to interact with him in person, other than we had a car accident a few months ago involving a paver and my wheel getting bent and a tire blown on highway. Not
Matt
too far from our house.
Always has car issues.
Yeah, like I don't have them often, but I've had more in Texas than I've ever had in my life. And then when I have them, they're legend. I think you were texting me that day. David's phone was home charging. We had taken everything out of our car. I only had 10% on my battery because we were just running an errand. And Keith like raced across. It's the first time we saw him since May, and before that we hadn't seen him since like before the pandemic started. We usually see each other every weekend. We do lunch together. We'll do an event at each other's house, have drinks and lunch, and then the pandemic happened and everything shut down. So we've been good little boys and have not met up, and we've kept our social distances. But he gives really good hugs, and we miss them.
Yes, I loved her there in that video. Also, I love Sandra Lee Cuomo. Ooh. We'll have to talk about that sometime. We'll see what happens, because there's a lot of people coming out wanting his resignation. So we'll see what happens there, and there's an investigation. But his ex, I don't know if they were married. I think they were just together, like whatever. But his ex, Sandra Lee, who used to also be on the Food Network, I love her because she's the one you see like on Twitter or YouTube or Tumblr at the time, I guess, where she like someone's cut a bunch of clips together, and she's always like, you put a half an ounce of vodka, and you just see her go.
Oh, that's her.
That's Sandra Lee, and that's
Oh my god,
Cuomo's ex.
Yeah,
but
like,
I love her because
she looks so like 1990s housewife, and it's like,
yeah.
really
So, well, I guess we have come to an end here. We hope all of you have enjoyed this Friday show. We'll be doing something this weekend, so be sure and get those notifications on. Of course, we'll tweet it out, and we'll for the late night show, we'll have a countdown, like a 5-10 minute heads up countdown. So you know we'll be going, and we go.
And if you're
we
not
go.
getting notifications, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll add you to a list so we can keep track of it, because I can also text you.
Yeah.
And say, because I probably have your phone numbers anyway. I can send you a text and say, hey, we're live if you have time to come hang out with us. So
yeah, and
please interact.
The super late night show goes for like sometimes 2 or 3 hours. So you don't have to stay the whole time.
What everybody wants to talk about.
And if you're not there right away, it's not like it's going to end. We keep this one at about an hour, but that one can go on and on and on until everybody's just super tired. Basically, last week everyone went to sleep except for like 2 people, and they fell asleep with us. Oh, how cute! But yeah, so thank you all for enjoying us, and thank you all for subscribing and watching the show today. And we will see you again here next Friday. Of course, all of our episodes on your podcast. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. And join us for the late show tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.